Minister for Human Resource Development, and the co-chair, General V.K. Singh. While we wait for our participants to settle in, I'd also like to share the details with you. Vani Rao, Joint Secretary, OIA, Ministry of External Affairs, will be part of the session. Mr. Rakesh Ranjan, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Human Resource Development. And now please welcome the other participants. Ms. Sanam Arora, President of the National Indian Students and Alumni Union, UK. Let's have a round of applause, please. Mr. Anindya Bhaumik, Engineer, Australia. Mr. Jignesh Borsia, National Youth Activities Coordinator for Hindu Swayam Sevak, USA. Mr. S.V. Chandrasekhar, Director of Edule India, Malaysia. Mr. Pusala Mohanachari, Instrumentation Engineer, India. Mr. Aniket Kale, Secretary General, World Organization of Students and Youth, India. Also Dr. Sachin Chaturvedi, DG Research and Information Systems. Dr. Prayag Murawala, researcher at the Center for Regenerative Therapies, Technische University, Dresden, Germany. Also Mr. Radhakrishnan Nair, if you're here, please come up on stage. Principal of Sharjah Indian School, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. Mr. Sunil Pala, Senior Consultant, Capital Markets Division, Accenture, UK. Ms. Ravneet Pava, Executive Director and Vice President, South Asia, Deakin University, India. Professor Sampath Ramesh, Adjunct Professor, Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois, USA. Also Mr. Darshan Soni, entrepreneur from USA. Mr. Atul Temurnikar, Chairman and co-founder of Global Indian International School and Global Indian Foundation, Singapore. Dr. Pushpa Wood, Director of Westpac and Massey University, Financial Education and Research Center, New Zealand. I'd now like to hand over to the chair before Vani Rao gives her presentation.
Welcome all delegates for this plenary session 1, where we are discussing very important issue of education. This is under Nurturing India's Young Ambassadors and reaching out to Indian students abroad and NRIs and OCI students in India. Both way traffic is very important. We value it, and therefore we have decided to work it out together to ensure that it's a seamless exchange, it's a seamless facilities, and NRI and OCI students want to learn in India will have hassle-free entry as well as good training and other facilities. At the same time, thousands of Indian students go abroad. So it's an issue of very importance. And all these panelists, we had already met once after your last year's Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. And because various issues were raised, the issues are very important issues of recognition, of equivalence, of facilities, of accommodation, of so many other things. And so all aspects are important. And therefore we discussed nearly 3 hours, all those issues threadbare. We have made progress on that. And therefore that progress will be mapped in the presentation to be presented by Session Coordinator Vani Rao, who is Joint Secretary in MEA, because what we have done, and Sushma ji herself has taken so keen interest in all these problems of students learning here and our students going abroad and learning there. So this is our top priority. After all, we believe that all youngsters who will learn here and who are learning abroad are our India's young ambassadors. They are the young achievers. They are full with ideas. And therefore, to solve their problem is our commitment. And to that end, we want all cooperation from all of you, suggestions from all of you. We value your suggestions. And therefore, I welcome you all once again and request the Joint Secretary Vani to give the presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. At this point, I request people who are outside the hall as well to please join us. And also a housekeeping announcement. For the first time at the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, we have arranged for simultaneous interpretation of all sessions. And you can hear the sessions in French, English, and Hindi. So please use the headphones that are placed on your seats so that you can be more participative and understand the proceedings that are going on. I'll make a very brief presentation. As the Honorable Minister said, as part of the new expanded engagement with the diaspora, in September, the Ministry organized a conference to address the issue of problems of Indian students abroad and also problems faced by non-resident Indian students when they come to India to pursue programs. And this session was chaired by Minister of External Affairs and the Minister of Human Resource Development. And all the people you see on the stage here, they are domain experts from the areas of education and also community organizations. They were part of this panel that we had in September. They discussed these two issues and they have given a set of recommendations to the government on how the government can better address these two issues. I will just run through some of the important recommendations. This is broadly split into two strands. The first one is problems of Indian students abroad. As most of you know, we have more than 6.5 lakh Indian students studying outside India, programs at the graduate, postgraduate, and even the doctoral level. And the number of Indian students is increasing every year. The geographical spread is increasing. They face a variety of issues, including cheating by agents, difficulties in ascertaining the credentials of universities. The panel recommended that to address these issues in a more systematic way, Indian student associations should be formed abroad to represent the students themselves and to also discuss the issues they face on a single platform. The other important recommendation was that the student bodies, Indian student bodies outside India, should have a more regular and broad-based interaction with the Indian embassies outside India. The panel also felt that the government should first try to build a database of Indian students abroad because we do not actually have the correct number. And this number is very important for us to know where our students are, what problems they face, what courses they are pursuing, and where they are headed. The group also recommended that because the Indian students are often cheated by fraudulent agents and they get admitted to universities and colleges which do not have credentials, the activities and role of such education agents and consultants in India itself should be regulated, perhaps by the government and also working closely with the foreign embassies and governments here. Introduction of CBSE 1 international curriculum was recommended so that the curriculum that Indian students are pursuing in India will enable them to get admission to institutions outside India. The group recommended that because of the variance in the Indian school calendars, many of the Indian colleges and schools end in April, May, June, whereas the colleges in US and many other countries, they follow a different calendar. Synchronizing these calendars is very important so that by the time a student finishes his education, he is able to get these certificates and transcripts well in time to get admission in the foreign university. And of course, equivalence of the score that an Indian student gets in the university and college should be established so that the foreign university and a college, when they are looking at the Indian transcript, they are able to ascertain what is the degree of the academic standing of the Indian student. And also, the kind of subjects that Indian students choose in India at the +2 level should be in line and in consonance with the subjects that are offered by undergraduate and graduate institutions outside India. There were specific issues raised about the UK, about how Indian students find it difficult to obtain a visa for UK, and that the embassy and the government had to address this. And particularly in the US as well, because Indian students have been facing several problems, including those with valid visas. The group recommended that the Indian embassy in the US should play a more active role in providing both legal and other counseling to the Indian students. The second set of issues we covered was that of NRI students in India. As you know, we have a very large group of non-resident Indians who are working in the Gulf countries and also in Southeast Asia. Many of them are not able to send their children for higher education in their countries. So they send their children back to India and they face a set of issues, including the necessity of becoming a part of the competitive process to get admission to professional colleges, medical and engineering courses. The panel recommended that scholarship programs should be expanded for these NRI children. And other issues were that the NRIs and persons of Indian origin, when they come back to India, they are often considered on the same level as foreign students and end up paying much higher fees. So this was a concern that had to be addressed. And the second issue was when a PIO student comes to India, he's often given a visa which is not the same duration as the course of his education. For example, if he's here for a 3-year course, the visa is for just 1 year and then an application has to be given for extension. And of course, ranking of Indian educational institutions. This is a big challenge because students who are coming to India, they are deciding what is the academic standing of an Indian college or a university. Sometimes they do not have this data, credible data, and they make the wrong decisions, get admission in institutions which are of dubious reputation. So the panel recommended that Indian education institutions should be ranked by credible organizations. Not only that, Indian universities and colleges should enhance their branding so that they attract students of caliber from outside India. So after the panel discussion in September, we shared their recommendations with several of the government organizations and stakeholders, including the Indian embassies, Ministry of Home Affairs in India, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, and there is some action that we can report on. Firstly, you would be aware of the scheme called the Direct Admission of Students Abroad. There is a quota here which exists for Indian students along with foreign nationals of 15%. The joint entrance examination for admission to engineering IIT colleges, this is now applicable, or this can be taken in SAARC countries outside India. A lot of the universities in India have also enabled online examination systems so that admission process becomes easier. Students do not actually have to come back to India for exams. And there is work going on to consider CBSE and other qualifications as equivalent to the foreign credentials. There is a lot of change happening in the Indian education system at the level of +2 as we speak. And the Indian boards are also allowing students to choose various combination of subjects as opposed to the traditional combinations that were offered earlier, just for science and biology-based combinations. Ministry of Human Resource Development has also introduced a national institutional ranking framework on the basis of which those who are outside India can decide whether the institution they are considering is of good academic standing. We are also making efforts to enhance awareness about Indian education institutions outside India so that people also have the ability to choose outside of the tier 1 colleges and universities. I'm happy to report that on the basis of the recommendations of the conference, this year in July, the Ministry of External Affairs launched the student registration module. It's an online platform on which we are inviting Indian students who are abroad to voluntarily register. And this is a database that we are building. It provides information about what the students are doing, where they are studying, duration of their courses. The data is available to the ministry and also to the Indian Embassy. It first helps us to map out where our students are, get an estimate of the numbers, and second also to be able to address their issues on a single platform. Also a positive that came out of the panel, we have expanded our existing scholarship scheme called the Scholarship Program for Diaspora Children. It's now applicable to 66 countries worldwide, particularly the Gulf countries. We've enhanced the number of scholarships from 100 to 150. Of these, 50 are solely earmarked for children of Indian workers in the Gulf countries. And of course, as you would have seen, our embassies and consulates abroad are proactively connecting with not just the Indian diaspora, but also to the Indian student associations through a variety of ways. And advisories about institutions and universities outside India with which Indian students had problems, they are also being given wide publicity by the embassies and the ministry so that potential students who are looking at them can avoid putting in an application in these institutions. With that, I end my presentation here. Now the floor is open for a question and answer session. We have kept at least 20 minutes for that.
Thank you, Ani.
And I request the chair to moderate.
Yeah, thank you for good presentation. And see, this is the accountability which Narendra Modi ji has brought to this government. Because we only don't discuss, we act and we report. Because we feel that you are all stakeholders, important stakeholder in India's future, in world's future, and therefore we value every discussion which we conduct and report back of what we have done. And she has given a good presentation, but still there will be suggestions. And so now next 20 minutes are your minutes. We are already running half an hour late, but so be precise and just recognize, introduce yourself from which country and where you are from, and then straight come to the pointed suggestion or crisp question. We like to take a question. 1 minute. The only problem here is, मैं आपके चेहरे देख नहीं सकता हूं. ये organizers have put light on Prakash. तो प्रकाश पर ही प्रकाश डाला है, अभी ये अच्छा है, तो थोड़े चेहरे तो दिखे. हाँ, तो ये अभी नाउ एनीबडी कैन प्लीज रेज हैंड. यस, सो young boy, yeah, but balded. Yes, please. Who is standing? Yes.
Good morning. My name is Waliur Rahman. I have come from Saudi Arabia. I am residing in Saudi Arabia.
Very good.
My question to you, sir, is for the Gulf NRIs, as you know, we don't have universities or education facility. Maximum level is 12th standard there. So most of our NRIs, they find problems in getting admissions and pursuing their studies for the children. So can you explain, sir, what steps your government will take for the NRIs having these problems? Appreciate to know about it.
Yeah, my colleague Rakesh can also explain little because he's dealing with this aspect particularly. In a minute, you can. Or we are collecting all questions together and then answer. I think that's better.
Yes,
That's
yes.
better. So we'll answer your question. I have noted. Next.
Sir,
Yeah.
I am
lady in the first row. Okay, but आपको mic नहीं है? He is the man. He is standing here. There should be 2-3 people with mic in hand. So be ready. Here one, other end. Okay. Go ahead.
Most Honorable Minister, we are observing your good work. We appreciate. We come from Bangkok and Singapore. The Singapore government recently have omitted the qualification of ICI India from admission in ISCA member. I am a 30 years member. Still I am continuing as a member but cannot convert into the practicing license. They have omitted and nobody from government or ICI objected to them.
थोड़ा दूर.
So
Little. हाँ.
So
please.
my humble request is this, that anytime they are meeting with our Prime Minister very gladly, their minister also visited to Gurgaon to have IT park. But we are not asking them question. Our generation living in abroad, their qualification from India is eliminated. It is not sure that you will be getting married only within Singapore or Bangkok. You will be getting married with Indians. So I'm requesting, please revive those approvals. You have very friendliness. Secondly, I have question. You are having 3 most favored nations, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam. Vietnam has supported to India for UN participation for the seat, permanent seat. I'm very glad. Similarly, please recognize Thailand and Singapore and also Suriname, which we have seen very affectionate gestures for India. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Please, you, madam.
hello.
Yeah.
Namaskar. Good morning. I'm Dr. Nandini Tandon from Silicon Valley, California. And बहुत अच्छा लगा सुन के जो आप कह रहे हैं accountability को. एक thought था कि Silicon Valley में हम लोग बहुत early age से students पे focus कर रहे हैं STEM में, science, technology, engineering, maths, with a special emphasis on entrepreneurship and innovation. And as a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley and proud and humbled by the PBD award that VK Singh ji and all of you had given me in 2015, we would be delighted to see how we can work with you to mentor Indian students, especially girl students, anywhere in the world. So that is what we would love to work with you on. Thank you.
Absolutely. You are welcome.
Thank you.
And let me tell you at this juncture itself, you can just note down my personal email ID where your suggestions, which you are giving, we are noting, but still if you send little detail, proposal or suggestion or rationale for that on my email, we will personally acknowledge and respond, so you will have a concrete response. And if there is action to be taken, that also we will take. My email ID is minister.hrd@gov.in. I'll repeat, minister.hrd@gov.in. वो कोई डॉक्यूमेंट में आपको दिया भी जाएगा, then you can directly communicate and will respond. Yeah, please, you gentlemen. No, you have the mic, so you
Sir,
and then give to.
Yes, can I Sir, I am H.S. Sharma, 80-year-old, oldest living ITN of India.
Yeah.
I am giving you a suggestion. Kindly do not laugh. We
I'm not
have
laughing.
2% land area, 17% of world population. My request to all those NRI present here, see that NRI boys marry Indian girls and NRI girls marry Indian boys. So that we have at least 1 million Indians going to, we do not have in this whole world 2% land area on which 17% Indian live. Kindly take my suggestion promptly. NRI boys should marry Indian girls and NRI girls should marry Indian boys. Thank you,
Sharma
sir.
ji, thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make the ground rules quite clear. We are discussing a subject. Please confine yourself to that subject. There are many more occasions because otherwise we will not be able to do justice to the particular subject that we are discussing. We have got a very eminent panel sitting on both our sides who have worked very hard on this subject and debated this, given their views. So please give suggestions, recommendations that have been given on those. You want to add something to it, we will take that.
Yeah, but
Thank you, sir.
I couldn't understand when he gave that suggestion, many clapped. So clap has always two meanings. I don't know with what you
Sometime
clap,
we
but anyhow, it's a personal choice. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the way our Prime Minister and you are pursuing the HR ministry and bringing education. I believe that education is the key. And India can become guru only when we can bring moral character and creative education in all the curriculum of the schools and colleges. That is what lacking everywhere in the world, and India also. Your government came only because of corruption, to address the corruption. And I think moral, not corruption only, moral character, creative education is the key. There should be evaluation of the Kaushal Vikas Yojana also of the Prime Minister. Perhaps a lot of money has been spent, but it is not going to the real people, and many people are making business out of that one. So perhaps your government should see that how to evaluate the Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana and to see that it is going to the needy people. And third, last but not least, how to make our education system such a way that our universities should be at the top, and our universities are not within 200 top institutions in the world because of why? What is the reason? If we have all the resources, everything, skill and everything, why our institutions are not among the top 200 institutions? Thank you.
I'll address in my remarks. Please, madam.
Hello, this is
Namaskar, my name is
Manohar
Priya.
from Netherlands.
My name is Priya.
This is regarding a point in the presentation.
Ari, you are not allowing her. She has stood twice. Now she will speak, then you will. Please, go
Namaskar,
ahead.
my name is Priya Tandon and I'm also from Silicon Valley. President Obama had sent us to go to different countries, meet the heads of state.
Speak in the mic.
Namaskar, my name is Priya Tandon. I'm also from Silicon Valley. President Obama had sent us to different parts of the world, meet the heads of states, and promote entrepreneurship with students, especially women students. We would like to do the same with India.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Now you. Please.
Hello, I'm Sri Srinath and from United States. One of the questions that I related is some of my friends who resided abroad, who had children there, and essentially children are foreign citizens. They themselves are Indian citizens. When they come back to Bharat and they live here for 10 more years, the children are not treated the same as in par with other Indian students, especially after they complete their 12th grade and they wanted to apply. They are put into a special category, and that's more difficult for them to get in. And that's something because these are children more and more are coming back, and that sometimes becomes a impediment for people abroad to come and reside back in Bharat. That's something that's probably between HRD and another ministry. That's something to take note of. Dhanyawad.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Manohar from Netherlands.
You please raise your hand.
I had a question. Hello.
Where are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Last. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
this is regarding a point that was mentioned in the presentation. There was a mention of 3-year visa for OCI PIO card holders. But according to Government of India, OCI is a lifelong visa. So in what context this 3-year visa was mentioned?
Yeah, she will answer because this is a very technical question. Yeah, if you have. Jnaneshwar Muleji is here, so he'll. But next, you just note down. Then 2 minutes we'll answer one question.
नमस्कार. एक शब्द में आप और नरेंद्र मोदी को बहुत बहुत बधाई. जो कुछ भी काम हो रहा है बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है. मेरा एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन एक लाइन में है. बिजनेस को एजुकेशन से अलग कर सकते हैं क्या? आज बिजनेस एजुकेशन हो गया, एजुकेशन बिजनेस हो गया, और एजुकेशन की क्वालिटी इतनी घटिया हो गई है कि उसका कोई अंदाजा नहीं, मैं वर्णन नहीं कर सकता. आज 4-4, 5-5 साल इंजीनियरिंग की डिग्री लेने के बाद भी जब विदेशों में आते हैं तो उनकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं, वो कुछ भी नहीं जानते. और हमें बड़ा अफसोस होता है, हमें बड़ा अफसोस होता है कि आज एजुकेशन और बिजनेस को इस बुरी तरह से मिला दिया गया है कि उसकी क्वालिटी बिल्कुल घट गई है.
Well taken. I will answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I do not agree with him.
No, but that's not the.
Many students are now at the helm in US, empowering all the departments of US government. They are excelled very nicely. All goodwill goes to our forefathers.
1 minute. Right? Agreed.
Good
Next.
afternoon, sir.
See, this is not debating forum. Just crisp questions, and then we'll respond, because this should be a fruitful session where something new information is passed on and it becomes a useful session. Please.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
can I? Sorry.
ये जो पीछे है उनको भी देना mic. Please give the mic. Yes. Now last.
Sir,
तो
here,
3-4 लोग
so
जो
just one-
पीछे है.
Yeah. My name is Siddharth Gaud. I'm a student in London.
जी.
So I have 3 quick suggestions. We're the world's second largest English-speaking nation, but all countries require IELTS and TOEFL tests from students who have qualified CBSE or even have done their undergraduate degree in India. Everyone is well capable of speaking English on international standards. Isn't that, we should be leveraging ourselves to let these requirements be waived off. The second suggestion is with professional degrees such as law in the UK, qualifying in India is absolutely impossible almost unless you know the right people in the right places. The Bar Council is a statutory authority that works independently, I understand, but as the Ministry of HRD, which recognizes universities abroad, we should probably be taking steps to allow students who qualify tough degrees, professional courses abroad to come back to India and practice. Lawyers qualifying in the UK, lawyers in the UK, graduating cannot work in India as of now. It's very difficult.
No, actually it is on, my opinion is it has to be on reciprocity basis.
Sir, it's easier to qualify in the UK as an Indian lawyer than it is as a UK lawyer in India, as of now. If you're an Indian student, graduated in the UK...
we will pass on.
Yes, just one last suggestion, sir. Yeah. All NRI students should be given an opportunity for at least a year or two to work with government institutions or ministries to get to know the country and work with the system better, so that work placement opportunities or undergraduates or postgraduates, NRI students who would be interested in engaging with the government, maybe a scheme to work along with the ministries should be initiated.
I'm starting internship program.
Thank you.
Now go ahead.
Sir, good evening.
Yes.
My name is Baburaj.
No, who is speaking now? Last row. You, please.
Sir, there is a lot of... My name is Dinesh Ghodke. I am youth director with the Art of Living. And in my visits all over, many top universities, there's a lot of research, cutting-edge research on neuroscience, on brain, how learning happens best. How can we include that in our education system? And second, because India is the spiritual power, how we can include that spiritual component in our education, because Narendra Modi ji is promoting soft power and we have it. We are the leaders in this.
Thank you, Ghodke.
Sir, now, sir, I am SP Tiwari. I am from National Trade Union Center. We are working for international migrant workers. I know that your government is really doing very fantastic works during the evacuation and all other issues related to international migrant workers. But one suggestion from my side, that the workers who are stranded back in the Gulf countries because of undocumented, number one. Number two, those who are lying in the jails in different cases, their children can be given the scholarships. There must be a quota for them. That will serve, because they are not the earning members and they are lying unstranded there. Yeah. So government should make a provision for that.
Yes, thank you. Only ये जो पहले दूसरे लाइन में माइक है, थोड़ा पीछे भी दीजिए, नहीं तो यही से बोल रहे लोग. नहीं, अभी पीछे last.
Sir, can I speak?
Row, there were 3 rows.
Morning, sir.
Yes.
Why Indian students are going outside to study? Why can't the people? Sorry, wrong question. Why are
Naam, tell your name, identify.
My name is Vinay.
Yeah.
Why?
From where?
Sorry.
अरे कहाँ से हो भाई?
UP से sir.
तो बताओ ना. हाँ.
Yes.
UP का
Why
बताने में अच्छा
Indian
ही है.
students are going to US study? Why can't people from US come and study here? Why is government taking any steps regarding this?
Yeah, noted.
My name is Chandra Prakash. I am coming from Dubai. I have got to ask two questions. One is related to the schooling for upper grade. We have got a complication that CBSE education system doesn't support the student with special needs.
Yeah.
So most of the Indian students who are having this problem, they have to go to some other European syllabus or American syllabus. Second thing, we have got a lot of universities which are recognized by UAE government in various departments. But unfortunately, due to the traditional name of our universities or the degree is written in Hindi or some other language, regional language, we are facing problem with many universities whose spelling is spelled wrong in their list of university which is given by HRD. So those students who are from that universities, they are not able to utilize their degree or academic qualification for this thing. We have applied it many times to HRD, but there is no response from HRD.
You can still write to me and I'll respond to you.
Thank
you.
Sir.
Middle, हाँ, yeah, please. आप आवाज भी जोर से लगा सकते हो. You can.
Namaskar, my name is Devrat Prasad, Guyana, South America. I've noticed that the other countries, the US and UK, they're all tapping into the online market, online education, and I haven't seen India doing so in my country. I hope to see this very soon. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello. My name is Vishal. I'm from United States. I just had two questions, sir. First of all, the first question is, what is the government doing to make education more practical? The engineering colleges, there are like thousands and thousands of engineering college, but the students lack the practical education. So first question about that. And the second question about how can we make Indian Student Association, which are abroad, to be more interacting with the Indian embassies. So these are the two questions which I would like you to address if you can.
Yeah, agreed. Noted.
Sir.
Last.
My name is Mrityunjay.
Now only one or two.
Sir, my name is Mrityunjaya. Hello.
Huh.
My name is Mrityunjaya.
Yeah.
I am from Mindsmith Consulting, Bangalore. We are working on startup. See, my question is how you are tapping urban talent, means rural talent, means illiterate people. They have a lot of potential talent. Means they create a lot of jugards. But how we are planning to tap them?
सर मैं बिहार
We have a robust system, I'll tell you.
सर मैं बिहार से हूँ, विजय कुमार विमल. सर मैं बिहार से विजय कुमार विमल.
हाँ बताओ.
मेरा ये कहना है कि आपने जो शिक्षा का जो विकास करने का ये स्टार्टअप किया है, ये आई एम अप्रिशिएटिंग इट, बट देयर इज वन थिंग, कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल एडवोकेटिज्म कब तक चलेगा ये शिक्षा विभाग में? और कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल का मतलब होता है सर कि 2 दिन, 4 दिन, 10 दिन, 15 दिन, महीना दिन.
ठीक है.
ये लाइफ टाइम कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल कब तक चलेगा पूरे भारत में?
See, we are discussing here essentially students studying abroad and students of NRI and PIO. Internal questions we can discuss at later forum also. So, madam, in the middle, yeah, please, go ahead.
Namaskar, sir. I'm Sheetal Sharma from Haryana. I have two questions. First one is, as we all know, suicide rate is increasing day by day. Students are doing suicide only for the sake of getting less marks. So first, how to stop that? And
See, we are discussing an issue.
आप ये जो सब्जेक्ट है उसके ऊपर जरा ध्यान केंद्रित करिए. सब्जेक्ट है हमारे स्टूडेंट्स जो बाहर जाते हैं और बाहर के स्टूडेंट्स हमारे यहाँ जो पढ़ने आते हैं उनकी समस्याएं. ये पैनल ने वो डिस्कस किया है. आपकी जो समस्या है उसको हम दोबारा अलग डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. उनके लिए आप जावड़ेकर साहब को लिख सकते हैं. उन्होंने अपना ईमेल दिया है. जो आपकी समस्या है इंटरनल उनको आप लिख सकते हैं. लेकिन आज इस समय सिर्फ वही समस्याएं डिस्कस करिए जो बाहर के स्टूडेंट्स यहां पर आते हैं और यहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स जो बाहर जाते हैं उनके बारे में.
Okay,
Sir,
sorry.
good evening.
Namaskar. On the subject.
Sir, last question, sir.
No, you
Last
are
question,
standing
sir.
again and again, please. Ah.
Sir, myself, Dr.
Where are
Dilip
you?
Arora.
Right, left.
Hello.
Greetings of the day, sir.
Sir, I am here.
Yeah,
Go
sir,
ahead.
this is Saloni Parekh from NSS, Gujarat. My question is, what we observe that NRI students, or specifically I may say, that the foreign system of education states that a person has different kind of learning, that is kinesthetic, proactive, and those kind of patterns, they study according to the things that they can adopt in their brains. And Indian education system has a specific type of education which is single patterned. So they are sometimes not able to understand what our teachers want to teach them. So what does India want to adapt and inculcate from the Western culture, which we can adopt for our nation, as in it becomes easy for every student to learn in both the patterns?
Good morning, sir.
Good point raised. Now first, and he is the last.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
This is Manoj Paras. I am coming from Sweden and working for European Union as a researcher. Prior to moving to Europe, I was working for Ministry of Textile, and but as soon as I moved there, my job got discontinued. While other students from other
आकाशवाणी
countries,
कहाँ से हो रही है?
from here, sir, from a Scandinavian country. I'm from Sweden.
Okay.
I'm from Sweden and I'm working for European Union as a researcher, doctor researcher.
Yes.
Prior to moving to Europe, I was working for Ministry of Textile, but as soon as I moved to Europe, my job got discontinued. While other colleagues from countries like China and Africa, they have their job in their country and they are doing research in Europe, they will go back. But for me, like now I'm not thinking to come back because intentionally someone has discontinued my job. So probably I will try to go to USA or I will try to work for European University only. So please note down my problem.
Definitely. Yes.
Hello, sirs. My name is Krunal Udedra, and I'm a Kenyan citizen living in India since 2 decades now. I have studied, I hold an OCI also. I have studied at Symbiosis University in Pune, sir, where you come from.
Yeah.
Sir, we had to, all the students, we had to go to the police commissioner's office to get ourselves registered. That was the procedure, that's fine. The police commissioner's office used to take weeks and weeks, sir. And we used to enter the police commissioner's office at 9 o'clock in the morning, get out at 6 p.m. in the evening without our permissions. This was many years back. My suggestion is, sir, if the Ministry of HRD and MEA, you have a joint conference today, the suggestion is that if a small section is made at the university itself, where students don't have to go to the police commissioner's office and waste so many hours over there, and if they can just register themselves at the university, they'll save a lot of time, sir.
Tathastu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, and now there are two pertinent queries which needs immediate explanation. So, Naneshwar Mule, and Rakesh Ranjan first, and then Naneshwar Muleji, our secretary here, and then I'll give few remarks, and then conclusion by our VK Singh.
Thank you, sir. So there are two specific suggestions which came. One was about what are the provisions of NRIs who do their schooling up to class 12 abroad and then want to come over to India. There is a scheme of DASA, which is direct admission of students abroad. Under this scheme, any institute in India, centrally funded institute, can create up to 15% supernumerary seats. Our utilization is less than 1%. So there is a lot of scope and we don't get enough applications. And the process is very simple. The admission is through SAT. For SAT, the score should be 1800 at least, and the CGPA in the institute that they have attended abroad should be at least 8. And they should have done 11 and 12 from abroad. So any centrally funded technical institute is open for admission for NRI and OCI children. That's one. There was a very specific query about the recognition of the law qualifications. We are seized of this issue, and about a month back, we had a meeting, a joint meeting, where we had invited Bar Council of India, University Grants Commission, and the Association of Indian Universities, which basically recognizes the qualifications here. In this joint meeting, the Bar Council of India, they clarified that they are the authority to issue the mutual recognition of qualification certificate. they are facing some problems. One of the problems that I recall now is that some of the countries have this system of anyone who is a graduate in any discipline can apply for Master of Law and can become a Master of Law without having the LLB. The Indian system is not like this. The Indian system, you have to be LLB before you become before you get the degree of LLM. So they are facing some problem in recognition of the master qualifications of law, but bachelor qualifications, they said that they do recognize. In case there is some specific problem, that can be referred to us, and we'll definitely look into it. Sir, there was one issue raised which was basically about related to verification of the qualifications. I would like to inform that India has launched very recently a national academic depository. So very soon all the degrees which are earned in India will be available on the depository, and the universities will have to refer to the depository to get the degrees. So the complicated process of verification, we are planning to do away with it. It will be in a phased manner. It will take some time, but it will definitely be done. Thank you, sir.
Now we have all of you who are asking questions and giving some suggestions. Everybody is welcome. And you have best panel which is continuously tracking all this development. This is the panel. So if one or two panelists want to give in 2 minutes something, please respond. The way they work, the way you can communicate with them, and the way they interact with us continuously. And it's a forum which is recognized here, and they take cause of Indian students abroad and also NRI and PIO students in India. So they are working on the exact subject on which we are discussing. So they are the most relevant spokesman for you. Now you go ahead. Rick.
Good afternoon, I'm Aniket. I'm working for World Organization of Students and Youth, organization working for welfare of international as well as NRI student, those who are studying in India. We are recognized by ICCR. Two questions come. One is regarding visa and one is regarding police verification. Yes, two were very difficult problem 2 years ago. But now since we are in continuous dialogue with ICCR, and ICCR is coming up with some portal where it will like one-stop shoppy or one-time solution for all the problems of the international student. It may be international student or NRI student. Regarding visa, visa verification and renewal. Visa renewal was a problem for African student most of the time. So during our panel discussion, we raised this issue, and I think ministry is working that he will get the visa till his tenure is there for his degree. So these two developments are under process. I hope the portal of ICCR will be ready soon.
My name is Dr. Murawala. I come from Dresden, Germany. I'm a founding president of Indian Association Dresden in Germany, and I also work with Indian students in Germany. This is an organization that supports all Indian students in Germany and sponsored by Indian Embassy in Berlin. So there are two things I would like to add. The university ranking that we are planning, we should do it with subject-wise. So every individual subject should also be ranked, and that would help students to understand which university is good in which subject. That is my recommendation. The second recommendation that I do is we can set up international offices in major universities at least, where we have for Indian NRI and PIO coming to these universities. The international offices normally facilitates this kind of registration and other requirement of the student. That would help a lot.
Namaskar, Sunil Pala from the UK. I work with the National Hindu Students Forum over there. Couple of points I'd like to address from questions and suggestions that came out. One, if I understood correctly, was a suggestion to waive English tests. What I'd say to this is, the UK, you particularly will have seen in the last year, the concerns around the people who are coming to the UK and the net immigration. So whilst students coming from India are very well educated in English and have a very good standard, it's very difficult, I imagine, to try and have a special rule for Indian students coming there. So I can't see overall, with the number of nationalities that do come to the UK, that's something that's likely to change. What I would say is a more general point to all students traveling abroad. Work with organizations like ours to help matters of integration and to do away with many of the issues which come simply through isolation. Where there is no community otherwise, it's easy to become victimized. So the point that was raised about working with local embassies, again, organizations like ours can help to bridge that gap. The embassies, I can empathize that it's a job to try and coordinate across universities in any country, but organizations like ours are established at universities and we can provide that bridge. But the onus is also on yourselves as students that are out there to look for us and make sure that you participate actively.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. You want one minute? Yeah. Oh, here he is. He wants one. Yeah, I didn't see this side. Yes. I must see left. Yes.
Just to add, I'm also from the UK. I'm with an organization called the National Indian Students and Alumni Union UK. We have a model to propose to you, or the whole Indian diaspora here, the honorable panel here, which is that with the NISU in the UK, we have over 25 universities that are affiliated with us. We are present in all 4 countries of the United Kingdom, so England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, some of which are geographically difficult to get to. And every single president of every single India society, and some of them are in the audience today from London School of Economics, from Queen Mary, London Business School, etc. They're here today. They are interacting on an almost daily basis with the High Commission in London, with the Consulate General in Birmingham, and also with the Consulate General in Scotland. In fact, we were ones to welcome the recent Consulate General in Scotland. So to the point that the young gentleman here raised from America, absolutely, there is a model right in front of you, which is that you can set up micro-level Indian associations, often which are already running for many, many years in a number of universities. It doesn't take much effort. And you need an umbrella body on the top, which can be a guiding force and your bridge between the Indian government, the high commissions, the consulate generals in various areas, and all the students that you then represent. And that's an operating model that we propose. We already have interest from the US and Australia. We propose for global expansion. To add on to that, we have also proposed as one of the recommendations the inception of a private-public partnership under the MEA called the Global Indian Students Association, which can work with the respective national Indian students associations of all these countries. And finally, a gentleman also made the point about English language. I just want to make the point that his point was around CBSE being recognized. I think that should absolutely be the case. And we should make a case of actually being very proud of the way we speak and the way our accents are perceived. There are, a significant part of the population of this world speaks Indian English, and Indian English needs to be recognized. And, that is also a way of speaking. And I think we should be very proud of it. And to all the students who are going abroad, can I just say, don't try and put on a fake accent just to integrate better. You can integrate with your own accent. Thank you.
Sorry, can I just add, one of the main things I think is to also look at qualification recognition, Minister. I think that's one of the things that we can actually talk about, because there are students in Australia and UK that finish qualifications, and when they come back to India, they don't get the recognition through AIU. So that's one of the aspects we do need to talk about.
Yeah. So, thank you, panelists. Now, over to Naneshwar Mule, and then I'll give just 5 minutes remarks.
Few very quick comments to the observations made here. Number one, as long as you have got OCI card, there is no limit. There is nothing called a visa duration if you have OCI card. However, it needs to be recognized that all overseas Indians do not, as of now, have OCI cards. So please go and apply and get your OCI card as quickly as possible. PIO cards have now been formally converted into OCI cards. Please go and get it is free right now. Later on, it could be charged because this is a service being provided by Government of India. About NRI students working with GOI, we have noted the suggestion. About the children in the children of those who are jailed abroad, and particularly Gulf workers. I mentioned in the morning, we have 150 scholarships for the diaspora, out of which 50 scholarships have been reserved for those children whose parents are working in the Gulf. So I must also mention that we do not have enough applications this year. It's a new scheme. And if you want to know the details, it is the spdcindia.gov.in. So please encourage your friends to apply in this particular scheme. Duration of course and the visa, the mismatch. Recently, MEA has formally written to MHA that students who have admission from recognized schools or institutes, their visa should be commensurate with the duration of the course. So that has been taken care of. Role of embassies. I would like to say that our embassies and consulates and High Commissioner offices, they have not only been sensitized, they are now introducing very innovative and creative programs for associating overseas Indians with India and with the embassies. And there is a special portal now, and we encourage all the overseas students to register themselves so that they can avail the facilities, also avail assistance of the embassy in case of any difficulties and emergencies. For this particular PBD, we have a mobile app called PBD 2017, PBD 2017. It's free. Please download it so that whatever are the updates you are able to get, because the programs keep on changing and there is certain fluidity about the events going on here. With this, I would like to thank you all for joining us.
So, it's always good to talk standing because then you are with force. The issue is our esteemed colleague, and our MOS MEA, who defended our borders very successfully and for whom we are very proud, our colleague VK Sinha, General VK, क्योंकि जनरल ही बोलते हैं. So, General VK ji and Jnaneshwar Mule, other officers of both the ministries and panelists. Because you have, when I attended the meeting with Sushma ji, so I saw your passion, I saw your disciplined way of working, and I saw the way you are interacting with all those concerned and networking everybody into the ambit. So these are the 4 things which you are doing, which I applaud. More importantly, we have registered and noted each of the suggestions. Every suggestion cannot be answered at this moment of time. But let me tell you that Modi government believes in continued dialogue. And continued dialogue with solutions also. We will not discuss whatever is possible will be done. Whatever is not possible will be told why it is not possible, why it is not reasonable. But let me at the outset announce one good thing. What we have started is National Academic Depository. Every time Indian students who need to go to foreign countries used to have transcription, and that used to take 3 months to 4 months or many months. Because if you are more educated and more degrees and more diplomas, every transcription used to take. Now, we have in a way dematerialized and put National Academic Depository, a digital repository where all your academic documents are now stored and will be immediately available in one day, not even one day. In fraction of minutes, you will have your documents ready and which are verified and authenticated so that there is no problem, no waiting, no separate queues. So that's the best thing has happened. And NAD we have already started. And from this year, all universities, all boards, and even their past record, whatever is available now, all will be put on the NAD. So everybody's academic documents will be available which are authenticated. As far as you are concerned for quality, somebody raised it, very important. When I became HRD minister, press people asked me, what are your priorities? 3 priorities. I said my first priority is quality, second priority is quality, third priority is quality. because that is how we can make progress, because human resources development is the foundation of any developing country, and which makes it a developed country. We are trying to improve the quality at all levels, but particularly let me just give few inklings of what we are doing in higher education. We are now giving PM scholarship, because I have seen why best of the best brains from India go abroad. Because there are good teachers, because there are good laboratories, there is good research freedom, and there are good commensurate scholarships for the best of the best brains. And that's what is the scenario. So if I want to bring those back here and a brain gain here, in a way, keep our best of the best talent in India, I must provide them the whatever foreign countries and best of the best universities offer. And so we have decided to give PM scholarships, and they will be nearly 1 lakh rupees per month, not a small thing. So it will be a very good PM scholarship. So PM scholarship to best of the best students. Then we are launching GRIN program, GRIN, Global Research Interactive Network, wherein we are already giving $3 billion in next 3 years for higher education finance through higher education finance agency. The budget will provide 2,000 crore input, but with that 2,000 crore, we'll leverage 20,000 crore rupees, that is $3 billion, and which will be invested essentially in upgrading and improving the research infrastructure on our best of the best institutes. So that research infrastructure provides him the best labs why they go abroad. And even in this program, we are making them comfortable that for a term, they can go abroad, the best of the best lab, we will bear the expenditure, and they can have guidance from there also. And here also we are coming with 20 world's best world-class universities. How these 20 world-class institutions will come? We have finalized the guidelines, which will now be declared as a government policy very soon. And those world-class institutes, 10 in private sector, 10 in public sector, existing and new also, on a challenge mode, they will compete with their vision, action plan, and their records, which are existing. And with that basis, these 20 world-class institutes will give that international ranking. That is the final aim where we need to have. Singapore has 5 universities in top 100. There is no University of India there. And earlier, we had a legacy. Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, they were the best of the best universities of that time. If there would have been a QS ranking or Times ranking, at that time, the first 2, 3rd, and 10 universities would have been only Indian universities. That was our legacy which we had, which was destroyed by invaders, because they know that it was the power of India was education. And that was destroyed systematically. As you learn or hear, or you must have read, for months together, Nalanda library was being burnt. So it was a great loss. We were 1/3 of the world trade, we were 1/4 of the world GDP. And I believe only those countries progress whose universities are good. So we are making good universities and making every university progress on the quality roadmap. That's the program what Modi government has taken. And as far as problems of PIO and NRI students, they are genuine. We want to have, but nobody discussed foreign students because that was not the topic of today. But even I want more and more foreign students to also come to India. Korean ambassador talked to me. We have 4,000 students learning in, Indian students going and taking lessons in or doing their courses in Korea, and only 400 students of Korea are doing research or some courses here. So we need, because I recollect in Pune city, from where I belong, in 70s, there used to be thousands of African students coming and taking courses in our universities. Now, suddenly there is a change in so many years. So we need to bring more and more. This diversity brings us a real living and an international perspective. And therefore, we are aware of all the problems. We are trying wholeheartedly. And therefore, your suggestions are welcome. And this panel and all this session was a very useful session. I must thank Sushma ji because, you know, she is active even after her surgery, and therefore she called me and said that you have to go and chair this. I said it's not order. I will love to go. I would have otherwise also come to be co-chair with you, but I'll go there. I'll be talking to the students. I'll talking to the NRI and OCI people, and then PIO people, and we will come out with a credible plan and a mechanism where you can trust and will solve as many as difficulties as possible. With that, I can assure once again that we are improving at our end. We want all kinds of students here, and we also want safety there. Because I recollect my son was doing PhD in Boston, and that time we have discussed at least 10 times. With Naneshwar Mule, who was in New York and elsewhere, and we used to communicate. So, we have discussed many times what are the problems which parents face whose students are learning abroad and the students who are learning abroad. So there has to be a concrete mechanism which they have already started. And so therefore, it's an active ministry, it's an active government, and you can have the best of the things to come in days to come. Thank you and all the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's put our hands together for the chair of this session, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, and all our distinguished participants. There'll now be a vote of thanks proposed by General V.K. Singh.
Our Minister for HRD, a very dynamic, open-minded, and always willing to come to the assistance of anybody, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, our two secretaries who are present here, and a very eminent panel which discussed various issues on the problems that the students face when they come to India or when they go abroad. Now that was the subject of today's plenary discussion and the session. I'm sure there are many who have many more suggestions or many more issues which they would like to give. I would recommend that please give these issues to our coordinator, Joint Secretary Vani Rao. You can give it in writing or take the email address and mail it to her accordingly so that we can compile these and come up with something which will be able to address various issues that have been there. Our panelists have made very good suggestions. Let me thank each one of them for having taken the trouble not only to come to the session in which we had called them, but also to come for this particular Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Our sincere thanks to all of you who participated so enthusiastically. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Just before you leave, Chairman, sir, we'd like to felicitate you and express our gratitude. To do the honors, Mr. Mule. Also for all our other participants on stage, felicitations for all our participants on stage. Meanwhile, also an announcement, please, before you leave the hall, do return your headphones or leave them on the seats. And you'd love to visit the exhibition in Hall 1 and 2. Lunch will be served in the banquet hall. And of course, the next session will start here at 2 p.m. So enjoy your lunch and enjoy this break. And meanwhile, we end on this beautiful note of felicitating all our distinguished participants. Thank you for having been such a vibrant audience.